Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into the realm of the unknown, ready to unravel a spine-chilling tale that will leave you on the edge of your seat. So buckle up and brace yourselves, because we've got something truly eerie in store for you. My father told me a story. Once I'll never forget it for a few reasons. I think it's the first story he ever told me as a child. It's also the story of how my grandfather died. But honestly, that isn't the reason. You hear stories on TV, or sometimes you overhear something in a public place. People talk about ghosts and aliens, and you think to yourself, that isn't real. They're making it up, or they're mistaken, or they're crazy or something like that. You just can't believe it until something happens. Something that brings it all together. Connects the dots in a way you didn't think of before. Maybe it happens to you. Maybe you hear the same story again and again, happening to different people. It doesn't take long for the world to become a lot bigger than you thought it was. As I said, this is a story my father told me, but I never believed it, even though he swore up and down it was true. It wasn't until I started clicking around the internet that I started to believe. I started to hear other stories, just like the one my father told me. It didn't take me long to believe in the creature. That's not what my father called it, of course. He's never used the internet in his life. He wouldn't know what the consensus has taken to naming it. When he chose to call it something other than it or that thing, he called it Skinwalker, after an old Cherokee tale his grandfather told him. But I'll tell you the story the way he told me. We were out hunting one night. We'd kill them for $50 a skin. They lived on a dairy farm in Ohio. They'd kill cows sometimes. We did it every night, because we needed the money. Sometimes, while we were out, we'd come upon a deer and kill it. The landlord didn't mind, and it could feed our family for a few nights and save us some money. Anyway, we were done making our rounds and heading home, walking because we didn't have a car or four-wheeler back then. We'd cut through the woods. That's when we came upon it. Blood everywhere, splattered on the trees, in the grass, in the creek, everywhere. At first, we figured it was a pack of coyotes. We'd seen it sometimes. They can scavenge and start hunting deer or cattle. The worst was when they breed with feral dogs. But this wasn't like that. See, when a pack of dogs or wolves or coyotes attack something, they do it right. They'll pick off one that's weak or sick or old or just small. They'll draw it into a corner, someplace it can't get out of, and they'll run it right to the biggest one, the alpha. And that deer will never see that alpha. It might hear it, but it won't see it. It'll just notice that its throat is gone, and it'll drop dead. It's quick and clean. That wasn't what happened here. Something had run up on a den of deer. Coyotes won't attack a den. Wolves neither, because they'd get too much of a fight. There were 3, I think. 3 bodies just torn apart. You'd see a head here, a leg here, a torso there. Predators don't do that. They don't leave behind scraps. Whatever had done this hadn't done it for food. They'd done it for fun. But we didn't know that. We saw a bunch of carcasses, and we thought it was something we got to take care of. I remember my dad telling me to go home. He thought it was a pack of feral dogs, but I wasn't leaving him, and I damn sure wasn't walking through 2 miles of woods alone with nothing but a .22 and a pocket knife. He was only 13 at the time, so a .22 rifle was about the only gun he could reliably use. Dad had the shotgun, and I wasn't going anywhere without it. It took me a while to convince him, but finally, we began tracking down whatever did that. I remember my dad telling me to go home. He thought it was a pack of feral dogs, but I wasn't leaving him, and I damn sure wasn't walking through 2 miles of woods alone with nothing but a .22 and a pocket knife. He was only 13 at the time, so a .22 rifle was about the only gun he could reliably use. Dad had the shotgun, and I wasn't going anywhere without it. It took me a while to convince him, but finally, we began tracking down whatever did that. It wasn't hard either. We just followed the blood. Either that thing bled a deer before it got away, or dragged one for about a mile. I don't know. I know that I'd never seen my dad scared before that night. We started hearing noises. I've been in a lot of woods in my life. I've been all over the world, and ain't never heard noises like I heard that night. I heard things screaming, heard deer and fox and rabbits and raccoons and birds just scared. Keep in mind, this is maybe 12 or 1 a.m., except for the fox and some birds. Nothing was supposed to be even awake, but they weren't just awake, they were moving. I saw flocks of birds that night fly straight into the trees, just trying to get out of there. We came upon a pack of coyotes, nearly shot a couple, thinking it was what we were looking for. But then we saw they were running towards us. They ran right past us, didn't even notice. Then some deer did the same, then some rabbits, squirrels, foxes, even a couple of wild hogs. These things were supposed to be eating each other, and the only thing they cared about was getting out of there. We should have put it together that maybe whatever we were tracking, it wasn't something we were supposed to see, and it wasn't something we could kill. I don't know why we didn't just go home. I guess we were curious. I think that was my dad's nature, to go toward trouble, to fight. And knowing what I knew about my father's time during the war, my nature was to stay close to him. We finally got into an open valley. It was normally a soy field, but it wasn't in season, so it was just flat dirt. We saw the tracks, then a lot of the animals fleeing the forest. They'd paved over the land, but where that deer blood was, nothing had taken a single step, like they were leaving it for us to find. Tracks were shallow. Whatever it was couldn't have weighed more than 100 pounds. But that didn't mean much. A bobcat weighing 40 pounds wet nearly tore out my damn throat once. All that means is that it's quick and hard to hit. So we followed the tracks, and it doesn't take long for us to find where it is. There's this old schoolhouse that sits on the top of a hill. Half of it had been ripped out by a tornado, but nobody lived there. Not for a long time. We got homeless people in there sometimes, or druggies looking for a safe place to shoot up. We figured maybe that was it. Maybe it was some sick kid hiding high. But we didn't think that for long. We get within 50 yards, and we hear this noise, a screeching kind of sound. It was sort of made up of 2 different sounds. One was a high-pitched scream. Another was a low-pitched growl. It was making both at the same time. We get within 20 yards, and we hear this sound. Thanks for joining us on this hair-raising journey into the world of the mysterious and macabre. We hope you enjoyed the thrill as much as we did. Let us know in the comments which story sent shivers down your spine. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more riveting tales. Remember to hit that like button if you want to see more content like this. Until next time, stay curious, stay brave, and keep exploring the unknown. See you in the next video.